basically an incorrectly overanalyze a meaning through the lens of politics. But this time, I really don't like Midlife Crisis John. I miss Student John. Midlife Crisis John just offends me. It's funny. Like a 4-year-old dad goes online about how much alimony is killing men and that child support is the sand grate. Like, I'm just saying, John Doyle's whole thing has been getting sadder and sadder for a while. And when he had ever moved on, some sort of like leather boss outfit with a armband with a sheet on it. I'm not going to be able to take him seriously as a real fascist. All I'm going to see is this douchebag. And that's not fun, right? I'm not going to feel good about being in hiding from fascists who used to wear shirts like this. Urban Heat says, I don't hear it. I mock it and he it. Very happy. Check out the song. Let me be having white blue summer. Summer's almost over. What are you talking about? I got rain. It started. It's bigger than Joy One dash for adult writers. One says, actually, calm down, kids boy. It's a movie. It also just became a general meaning. Like, it's white boy summer. It's more than a meme. It is a lifestyle. It is a metaphysical reality. And that is that this summer is white boy summer. Okay, this is white boy summer. Why is this? What does it mean? Why are people melting down about it? So many questions, and we will answer all of them. But you might remember that there was a song that came out a couple of years ago called Hot Girl Summer. And the whole point of the song is exactly that. Hot Girl Summer is a summer for girls to live their best lives, be independent, be bad, enjoy yourself, be at home. It's hoe season. So basically, it was an anthem for young girls who have already been doing for a while now, which is looking at sensing flashlights and how they have prescriptions for antidepressants and no less than 2 cats, all in the empowerment or whatever. I wonder why John Doyle's single. He's such a catch. Look at that shirt. It's so turquoise. But nonetheless, H. Bear says he's like an early living Terrence Trump, except he doesn't have the kinds of real baggage that Terrence does. Terrence is like reading the Superman comic, and John Doyle is like reading the Superboy comic. You know where it's going. Where Terrence Trump is like watching The Empire Strikes Back, and John Doyle is like watching Revenge of the Sith. Why is John Doyle now playing as a crazy white dude guitar player? Celebrating cosplaying, that makes sense. And of course, I don't know. The answer to which it alluded was it always is that women are oppressed and shamed by a patriarchal society, and so they have to feel empowered. He says, as if that isn't the case, right after he just insulted women and called them human fleshlights for engaging in the behavior that the song was saying gets shamed, but he thinks it doesn't get shamed, but he just shamed it by calling women human fleshlights. That's galaxy brain. Excluding says it seriously drives me crazy because one of my nephews has the same energy. Thankfully, he's being liberal and not fascist. So that's fine. He's just going to do it. Super Brady Pants says, does John Doyle wear sunglasses now to hide the fact that the light has left his eyes? That's why I do it. Hold on. Catwoman sunglasses? That one. Willie Loftus says, I feel like John Doyle wanted, or rather watched a Meg 3 Stallion music video and they killed him. I don't even know what that is. But I feel like the same company probably sells these same sunglasses in a different color, but probably is Spider-Man sunglasses. These read more Spider-Man to me than they do Catwoman. Well, stop this therapy pipeline that we just mentioned, and that was cool. But when you have been talking to a racist people, that your country is racist and evil, and you can be prioritized, yes, really, that's what's going on, John. Good summation of the last 10 years. In the workplace, in college admissions, all of your favorite things that turn gay or into women. Yes, if you don't know, there are no male or straight mainstream stallion is rapper. He wanted to turn hot girl summer and had a song called that. And he was literally talking about it. Any opportunity that not to is taken and ran with, but when you try to participate in poke fun too, and you're demonized, all of this happens to over the course of a few decades, and in particular the last 2 years. And he knows, John Boy is 21 years old, so he only knows the last 2 decades, literally. And you just want to have one teeny tiny little white boy summer, and immediately, nope, shut it down, that's extremism, that's white supremacy, I don't. They got called white supremacy very specifically because they got picked up by the Black Peasants fan base and became a meme for them. And they're white supremacists. And so are you, you're a fan, but you know that. So, what are you doing there? It's white boy summer, we're skateboarding, we're causing mischief, we're listening to Blink 182, we're gaming, we're getting yelled at by authority figures, we're punching drywall, we're gaslighting women, General Liz Ross was hanging here in chat. I got my booster today. So far, very minimal side effects. Awesome. Jumping in the lakes, and they hate it because we're having fun. Miserable people. It's one last score, boys. One last score before we go to the FEMA camps. One last around the final FEMA camps. More like forced femalization camps. Anyway, and John Doyle will do that one. This was completely unserious and completely serious at the same time. It's like, yeah, society is coordinating to effectively demonize white men, which we've known for a while, but you know what? Not this summer. This is our summer. And even that they don't like. No, you can't just declare it to be white boy summer. I did. Now, you did, John. I hope you enjoyed white boy summer. It's almost September, but I hope you enjoyed white boy summer. I really do. You've been making so few videos. I would imagine you must have enjoyed it. I agree. Scaries, like pattern cotton button-down shirt, my club masters, and I'm going to go climb something that I'm not supposed to be climbing because it's white boy summer. So we will examine the truth about white boy summer, why everything that is right-wing and or white is traced back to Nazis, why the left is able to lie so effectively, why they do everything that's white. That's true. People accuse me of being a Nazi all the time just because I'm white. That's a real thing that definitely happens and doesn't only happen to people who espouse white nationalist rhetoric. General Death Broad says also, this kid is such a meanie. True. Fear camaraderie and guys just being dudes, group identity, cringing at cargo shorts as a product of anti-white conditioning. Cargo shorts are white culture! Fact! Ice Queen says this is one of those times I'm very glad I'm a gay woman. I'm not joking about that. Then, of course, the official style and music guide along with the official checklist. And, of course, going outside and having fun as a political strategy, which will get us into the White Boy Summer Super Spreader Weekend Retreat and Jamboree, which you could actually attend if you'd like. It's going to be epic. So, well, that would be fun. Guys, okay, here's a poll. Will John Doyle catch COVID?
Esse é o próximo assunto.
Answer this poll. Will John Doyle catch COVID? Yeah, easy says in the 2022 apocalyptic cephalopod summer because Platoon 3 is supposed to be out around that region. Ice Cream says, I'm too surprised it hasn't yet. I think with John, joking aside, I genuinely believe John Doyle probably has been vaccinated. He's fascist, but he's not an idiot. I don't think he's an anti-vaxxer. It wouldn't surprise me if he pushes forward anti-vax rhetoric, anti-mandate rhetoric, and just resonates with the right. That's thought. But I don't know exactly if he probably do that. Honey says in Southern German, I hate people who actually believe stuff like this. I know Nazi means something different nowadays, but still, no one believes white people Nazi. Yep. The only people who actually espouse
shouts that rhetoric are the right. We claim that the left says that. No. Basically, the people that we come out these are white nationalists. Or people who call this a white nationalist stuff. Because there's a lot of the right of this point, unfortunately. Colton says, God has become that kid that does weird shit and takes your weird out instructions to being a trigger. Literally, yes. You can make like that. You throw something that doesn't really sound fun. He's a masturbating sex character. Oh, I see.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Heck Off Comedy. You might be asking yourself why I waited until August to start talking about White Boy Summer. It's actually a very simple answer. I've spent the better part of the last 2 years studying contemporary global propaganda.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we can pull this off. If we can say, well, the lockdowns and everything, we really weren't able to fully experience White Boy Summer, so we're going to have to extend it further into the calendar, only temporarily. We're just going to have absolute power over the calendar for you. It's with great reluctance that I accept this calling. I love seasons. I love Christian Girl Autumn. Believe me, I do. I love the Pride Month. And once White Boy Summer has concluded, I will lay down the emergency top 3 month season, where I can move to Texas. In the Florida calendar as it exists, it's never that simple, is it? No, the everlasting White Boy Summer. We have to get our feet in the door, we have to get our fans in the door, and then the whole calendar is ours. I'm joking, right?
I really wish that going for Saturday and going for summer because it is actually a good fun.
Sure. That's the thing. This whole thing really is said tongue in cheek. And it really just comes down to the people who hate us don't like it when they're having fun, because they are legitimately miserable and insecure people. Like, you can look at the rates of mental illness comparatively, you can literally just look at or talk to any of these people.
The discrepancies in reported mental illness between the left and the right can entirely chalked up to the fact that the left actually seeks help for their depression and anxiety, and the right instead turns into being angry at everyone else and becoming fascist, like John. John seems like a person who's very happy with his life and not compensating for anything at all. Jersey says, that was a good joke, by the way. I bet he's probably sincerely, really, really, really depressed inside. And on purpose. Jersey says, August was typically the summer vacation month before central AC was widespread. Basically says, Christian Girl Autumn, nah bro, fall is both pagan. Billy Lupton says, Fat Girl Fall may be back when we have to wait for a word from our leader Lizzo says she's dropping music at Sorry, since she's dropping music again, so we'll see if Fat Girl Fall is still on. I hope so. Barack said, so my dad is super conservative, absolutely peak psychologist, and thinks it's all the gas. So is my dad. My dad is a legit raging narcissist who's an abuse alcoholic, and he thinks mental illness is a big thing. The right just doesn't seek help for their mental issues. It's not that they don't have them, Sean.
Okay? And so something like White Boy Summer is really just demoralizing to them because they exist literally to try to ruin our lives, whether it's by putting all.
That's true. The fact that Josh feels that way, it's not really my job,
whatever, into making sure that you can't shop somewhere without getting a shot, or without getting shot, actually, or whether it's some journalist or streamer who lives his cattle on us for having fun. But these people live as civilians. They live existence. You don't do anything, you don't contribute anything like that to the society with any discussion ever and ever.
John, you and I are unlike political pundits. Let's not try to throw the glass houses. Neither of us had anything to substance in society, and that's a fact.
You exist to serve the power structures in society. Without people like us actually challenging those power structures, you would have even less. So guess what? It's White Boy Summer. And the boys are renting the lake house for Labor Day weekend. And I am bringing out the most radical, the most intolerant, the most illiberal guys I know. We're going to be laughing. We're going to be jumping into water for dangerous points. We're going to be eating obscure meats. And we're going to get some ostrich burgers going or something. We're going to be wrestling. We're going to be boxing. And meat. And inevitably someone's going to get slammed or hit too hard, and that's what probably going to be a job. That's okay. Arguably, that was the whole purpose from the beginning. And most of
That sounds like healthy relationships with your bros. I know for a fact that we're going to get in a fight. Oh, that's reasonable. You all sound very emotionally mature. Definitely have any mental ones. Christmas says conservatism is literally the antithesis of challenging power structures. Ice Queen says we're going to be adding a lot of gay sex. My group says nonsense, man. You keep playing those misfits and weirdos saying. I doubt that. Your thought says challenging power structures is this whole thing to conserve power structures. Okay. He wants to regress to previous power structures that kept like white straight men in power and disenfranchised everyone else. He's not a conservative. He's a fascist.
Importantly, we're going to be having more fun than the people who hate us, which means we win. So there's that. Also, if you've been looking for new merch, it is imminent. It will be released very soon. Very excited about that. And if you're interested in attending these,
Science is gay. I actually kind of want that shirt, ironically, the Science is gay shirt. Not for the reason he has. It's pretty good. I kind of like that shirt. Colson says Christ. It's so sad. He actually thinks people care this much about him. Yeah. He has 300,000 subscribers and 40,000 views. I mean, his audience certainly cares about him. Guy comes calling and says he's totally not gay. Spending all the summer with a bunch of guys at a lake house. Definitely not gay. Inside Owl says this party at the lake is sounding really gay. I kind of want to go.
White Boy Summer Super Spreader Weekend Retreat and Jamboree. We're going to have a good time, and we're going to bring out a few members on the website. So we're going to thank you for supporting the channel. So if you're a member on the website, log into your account, go to Comrades Only, fill out the form, and then we'll get back to you. You can also find a link to that Discord server there, which is so much fun in itself.
This is their second Discord server. The first one got banned for. I don't even know how to spread this rumor because I didn't see any actual evidence. The rumor was for pretty bad role play shit that was happening.
But yeah, it was a blast. And if you're a woman or a man who doesn't deserve to be called, you're not invited. Okay? You need not apply. Preference is being given to anyone over the age of 42. We can have that down on the grill energy. We're not in cargo shorts, the sandals, on anyone who gets more than 2 burgers or 3 hot dogs, big guy. I feel like that's a fair ratio. That's the idea. Or if I met you at an event, I want to see Red Polo chat. I want to see Sawyer there. Charlie, you can come. City Watson won't be there, but you can still come. He's not invited to one. So we're very excited about that. So if you can go fill out the form as soon as possible. But anyways, we can get our analysis on how we work something out. As we sit,
A bunch of dudes hanging out, and no girls allowed. The summer retreat. Punching each other because they're not gay.
yeah, it really wasn't supposed to be a political thing. It literally started with Tom Hanks' son just finding it, and then all great things that have named into existence. But I think it's important to realize that if you're a white guy in this country, if you're a white boy, you are essentially inseparable from politics. You are almost an inherently political figure.
I don't know if you know this, John, but for all of history, everyone has typically been inseparable from politics. Everyone is always inseparable from politics because it touches every part of our day-to-day life. You and other white straight cis dudes just felt insulated from it because the entire system was built in order to facilitate life to be as easy as possible for you. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying in the existence of the United States there haven't been straight cis white men who struggle. Of course there has been. But what I'm saying is you are insulated from consequences that directly disenfranchise people who aren't within that in-group. Yogi says, if you're a woman if you're a woman or a man who doesn't deserve his balls, don't worry, John, I don't need my balls. Like, you can just drain your dad's. Sweet Bunny Mommy says, this whole video seems like a desperate attempt to stay relevant. The amount of videos we put out have been way lower. 1 this morning watching from the yesterday.
So what that means,
And then 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, a month ago, 2 months ago, 2 months ago. The move really screwed him up. But also I think he did. I'm just saying he wanted a hot dog for a dad. I don't know. I didn't know it. Next thing says we won't read it to ignore chat and focus on Colin. He's way more like Rag Road says, how much money do we have to give James descendants? Ian Luxor says, are people like John the ones that say anything in the movie that is by POC, women, or LGBT representation political? Yes. There are two races, white and political. And John is very upset that now white is political also.
And what that means is that even if you like to be apolitical, you like to just live your life without having to take an interest in politics.
That doesn't exist. People who say they're apolitical are just ignorant of the ways in which politics shape their life.
Because you need attention or energy to it, you live and let live, you everybody's individual, that's fine.
That's political. That's still a political position. PDOT says Jake is too much of a Sigma male for these betas. Joking, I have to say that I don't believe in Sigma male.
And if that's you though, which you probably is in the majority of cases, it doesn't matter because your existence as a white guy is going to be the center of political discourses.
Your existence is political. It's just a thing for everyone. That's just reality.
Country for a very long time. It's been ordered to the center, and it already has been for a very long time, the last decade or so in particular. So we just have to keep that in mind because politics is just defined by how things should be structured in society. And if the popular and growing attitudes in society are saying that you as a white man are responsible for atrocities X, Y, Z, that you need to pay reparations, that you need to deal with positions of power and influence for non-white guys exclusively because you're a white guy, et cetera,
You notice how many wield positions of power? They're saying that the playing field should be even and for decades and centuries and in prospects, so when we compensate for that, we should ensure that those who aren't the same old typical white straight dudes, same always, should probably get opportunities too. The scale was already slanted in favor of white guys, Protestant, property-owning white men who weren't Irish for, most of American history. And now they're trying to even it. But you've had an advantage for so long, John, that you and people like you believe that making it more equal is all of a sudden disadvantaging you. And really, you had an unfair advantage to start with. Sorry. Montauk says, who wants to bet the rest of the new match will involve penetration? Studio says, how political are you? I'm black, gay, autistic, and adopted. That's probably at least 4 political points. Yeah, you're a trans woman who's bisexual and has ADHD. That's 3 political points. I beat you. 8 Fair says, how many school boards involved in the stricken match for the white guys want to go to school, John? Sorry, I went to the beach today. It was like the inside of my ear was really itchy.
You just have to understand that whether you like it or not, the fact that you are a white guy is in itself political. And you can't change that without changing the politics.
Everyone is political, John.
Of society.
Everyone is in some category or multiple categories that is political. You actually have fewer than normal. Being honest with you.
I don't say being born white. You definitely have the same.
What do you mean with it? Because being a man is political, being cis is political, being straight is political, you being somewhat well off in your upbringing is political. The same way that me being white is political, being trans is political, being bi is political. Whatever. We all exist in a political system. The ether through which we swim is politics, and we are all a party to it, and what we do affects everyone else swimming in the same medium. To act otherwise is just stupid. Ether says, unfriend that one. Ice cream says, your ear is itchy, what were you mom on doing it for you? That's how it's got longer.
Being born white. You're never going to change that is who you are. So what it comes down to is like literally developing an attitude down the white guy who cares about. Because the rest of your life, I would guess, you are going to be viewed by society through a political lens.
Like everyone else, welcome to reality.
Not too many lens.
Killjoy says, Hannah, we're living in a political world. I am a fool.
Definitely not transparent. You are increasingly going to be blamed for everything wrong in society, proportionately.
Not white guys, but fascists like you, John. Yeah, because you're really, really shitty and cause problems for everyone.
Think of how many of these boxes you check. White, male, straight, Christian. And I say this because it's definitely something you do.
Ah, yes, the poor Christians, the Christian majority country in America. Those poor Christians.
In mind as we go forward, but also because given that this is the case, even if we do something funny like, white boy summer, that is eventually going to be interpreted as a political thing regardless of our intentions.
Because it got co-opted by boypers, and you know this, John.
Because we are viewed almost exclusively by
Literally, Nick Fleming's White Boy Summer. Gotta find it. Recently, they were changing White Boy Summer. White Boy Summer from means to mobilization. Oh look, it's a meaning of White Boy Summer. It's Hitler. This is in the thumbnail from down there. There's more of them now. John, I don't know how to tell you this, but when white nationalists, oh, that's a good one. When white nationalists co-opt something like this, then it's political.
It's political because literal neo-Nazis started doing it. Oh look, White Boy Summer. And he's doing the hand thing. That was ironic and then it became unironic. White Boy Summer, and then they have a sign that says, why are Jews allowed to suck baby dicks? Oh look, another white nationalist group. Oh look, White Boy Summer at Lake Havasu. It's almost like white nationalists and neo-Nazis co-opted, which happens. And you know this, John, because you're a party to it, and I would imagine your Discord is full of shit like this. So stop being a disingenuous piece of shit, you slimy bastard.
Mike says, on that support vendors. Zalpidor says, CPAC, that we could attend. Your Maybe says, you might have swimmer ears, you make one part of one part is still, one picture and second. What might be that?
Those are influencing media, and media, et cetera, in particular, as a political thing. So we're simultaneously told that white people don't even really exist, not racially, not culturally, not any real sense beyond experience, but also that we are collectively responsible.
We've got a reference to the fact that like Wikipedia page for Caucasian says that it is an outdated classification for a racial person.
We always have those problems. We always have them because of slavery, because of colonization, because of whatever. And that's always the problem for me, because it's like, white people have their shared culture. Really? Really? At the very least, we have a shared cultural experience in the culture. We have no shared culture. And also that everything is our fault. And even talking about white people makes a lot of people uncomfortable. It tends to make people on the left angry unless you're disparaging the entire group.
Not really? No. Well, that girl says when it comes from Nazi, people are all the shit out of John. He says you might have swim from it. I'm sorry. Buddy Mom says, well, you hear how you talk down to these Johns. He says, I don't exist. No, for start, I don't talk no.
But it also tends to make people on the right anxious. Like, hey man, why are you talking about white people? Are you some kind of Nazi or something? But on that note, if you still barometer for determining whether a person would be an honest discussion about these things, is asking them to say something positive about white people as a group, or something negative about non-white people as a group. Think about that. And even that.
They just call me racist, like racist. Minnesota says, oh wow, this got back to the haircut. It's their whiny name they use. It's so clever. Oh, you guys, he's such a tool.
Idea probably is making some people make it right.
Yeah. Because you're already. Really love stuff says, why do I feel like when you're a black person called John a white boy once and struggling with the oppression ever since?
think about that.
Just quotes.
If you're going to berate white people for reasons that we don't celebrate non-white people for being X, Y, Z, it's actually for me to tell if you're being honest, given that no group of anything has unfairly positive.
God, like, let's say I'm talking about the history of the United States. I talk about the fact that historically, people in power have favored policies that disenfranchise non-white people and put white people in a favorable position. I'm not telling you that because you are white that you are a bad person. I am saying this is a problem that exists and you're going to move today and you should do something about it. That is not telling you, as a white person, which I also am, by the way, I'm pretty sure I'm whiter than you. It does not mean that you are to blame. It means that you should recognize this as an issue and do something about it. If you get blamed for something like that, then it's not because you're white, it's because you happen to be a person who is perpetuating the idea that these policies are good, right? Let me give you an example. Jesse Lee Peterson. Jesse Lee Peterson is a black guy, right? He's not, how do I put this? I'm not blaming Jesse Lee Peterson because he's white, because he's not white. Jesse Lee Peterson is a problem because he helps perpetuate problems in the society and try to give more solutions to them. That's the issue. It has nothing to do with your race, John. It has everything to do with the fact that you happen to be a white nationalist, which we all know you are, John. I think it's a thing don't talk about people's roots, John, and fucking fascists. And white boy summer and just a leg man.
Please, you need to ask people, okay, now tell me a criticism to black culture. They can't do it, or they won't do it because they're dishonest. I can tell you things I like and dislike about any non-honest person.
What don't you like about? I feel like you asked John, for instance, what don't you like about white people as a group, which is kind of a ridiculous question in the first place. Let's say we're playing this game with him, and I said, John, what don't you like about white people? His answer would be similar to when he get asked in a job interview, like, what are your weaknesses? Or really you say strengths, but weaknesses. Like John would probably say something along the lines of, I think white people aren't very good at protecting our culture. I don't think white people are very good at showing other people how much we've brought to the world. Like it's all these like white supremacist talking points wrapped in a half criticism that's really just him saying that white people need to be more white nationalistic. I'm just gonna go on a limb and say that's from this game.
Yeah, because they're dishonest. They're not interested in discussing legitimate problems and solutions. They're interested in ideological self-interest and conformity. Think about that.
By the way, John, you said back in like late November, you said the MAGA hat was never coming off, and then you took it off and it was on your desk for a while. Which I was like, yeah, the MAGA hat's off, but it's still a permanent part of your set. So I guess that doesn't make me a liar. Or the MAGA hat never comes off. And now the MAGA hat isn't on the desk at all. It's almost like you realize it's toxic to your brand to be connected to an abject fucking loser. Is that what happened, John? You want to talk about that, John?
Why do we get anxious when we talk about white people in a way that isn't negative? It's because of propaganda conditions. It is the same reason that we flinch when we hear far right, but not far left. The same reason that we flinch when we hear fascism, but not communism. It is
because fascism is an actual thing in the United States, and communism isn't.
You've been subjected.
When's the last time you remember communists getting together with tiki torches and killing someone with a car? When's the last time a communist drove up to the Library of Congress with a bomb, allegedly, and was like, I'm gonna blow up 2 blocks if yada 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 yada. Which happened the other day. So, John, the reason that we hear about one and not another is because one is real. And one is a boogeyman you're trying to use to reflect on the fact that your side has become incredibly radicalized towards violence.
I think it's that's the propaganda campaign. So probably your entire life, depending on how old you are, every time you're in a classroom, you talk with white people only are evil slave traders and colonizers. Every time you see the memes, they always seem to go,
John, I've been in public school, I've been in private school. Neither of them taught that. They taught the real historical facts that there were groups of people that helped form America, and those people put in place policies that were bad, and that they were slave owners, but they also sucked their dicks. Have you been to an American classroom? They sucked the founding fathers' dicks dry.
viral, these white guys, they look like they pay too much for weed, and totally owning them for not having knowledge of drugs and being a great part of their culture. Every time. All of that is literal propaganda because brain processes
Science propaganda, guys.
and this is conscious association.
And science doesn't agree with me, so it's sad.
Time I was turning to flinch whenever white people are spoken about in terms of something negative. The brain is telling you that this is deviant from the perceived group consensus. White people are lame. They can't dance. They don't season their food. They're filthy. They're not.
White man can't jump with anti-white propaganda all along. Puritan says John doesn't have a stick on his ass, but he did, might be more fun.
I've touched their old, and I know all of this because of tens of thousands of independently processed pieces of media information that I've consumed over the course of my life. That's how that works, by the way, like neurologically speaking. And the people who disagree with me would agree with me if it was happening politically speaking. But it isn't, so they're lying. It's the same thing with fascism, not communism. Because you were shown graphic images of mass graves and emaciated bodies at a very young age when you were in public school. You were
I'm aware of gulags and Stalinist USSR, and hot take, they're bad and also atrocities. It's almost like there isn't an active communist presence or threat in the United States to any significant extent. Meanwhile, 30% of registered Republicans have gone full fucking conspiracy theory fascist who want the military to report like coup to install Donald Trump as president for life. Sounds like these two things are completely different. Weird. This whole, like, he's comparing, like, Caleb fucking Moffitt, Burger King, or Burger King user guy who works for hard feed, to like people who actually threaten to try and kill Congress people. It's fucking ridiculous. Ice Queen says there isn't what's away my keyboard and sickle.
This is what the far right is. But you weren't told anything about the tens of millions of people slaughtered under communism.
And literally was.
John, you and I both went to school in Michigan. I went to a public school, the thing you're bitching about, and I know your family was kind of wealthy, so maybe you went to a private school, and maybe your private school didn't go into that for some reason. I guess public school education is just superior based on your own criteria.
And why is that? Because the communists wrote the textbook.
And if the communists wrote the textbooks, the fascists built NASA though, so I guess we're even.
Water down fascism
That's an Operation Paperclip joke. You can have that one for free.
to simply mean opposition to the left. Then you can define conservatism as fascism. And if you can crystallize the association between white people and Nazis, then you can define any white people who aren't explicitly allied with the left as Nazis.
Now, John, you get called a Nazi because you're a fascist, and the rumor was on your Discord there were people who even want. Let me be clear. This is a rumor. I did not see this firsthand. Because there was a rumor that your Discord got pulled because people on it were RPing as SS officers during the Holocaust and Jewish victims being killed by them. Gee, is that why maybe you get called a Nazi? That's weird. Colton says I went to allegedly. And Colton says I went to Catholic high school in MIA. They regularly talking about Stalin school. Willie Lovestuff says most textbooks are from Texas, so Texas is a communist state. Textbook is actually interesting. There's basically two markets for textbooks, and that's California and Texas. The California ones tend to be more progressive in their politics, and the Texas ones, of course, are conservative. Monty Mutton says, I remember the black and Asian Nazi regiments, don't you?
Which is exactly where we are now. And I'm going to keep explaining this. But afterwards, I'm also going to explain why we're not Nazis, white nationalists are looking to extend us with. And not because we're trying to convince them, since they're always just going to lie about us anyways, but because there are a lot of people who just don't understand what these things mean. It's all very cloudy. There's a lot of white noise coming out of it because the degree to which the left controls the flow of information in this country. So there are a lot of people who listen to the journalists cherry pick quotes from this monologue, to say what I'm saying or something.
Not me, John. I have integrity. I'm listening to the whole thing.
Exactly. If any person down with a copy, they will understand what this is and they will actually completely use it.
You're really not. Being polite and doing the whole Richard Spencer thing of putting on a suit or in your face, trying to be, I'm cool, I'm here with the kids, I wear, look at me, I got a printed button-up t-shirt that I got open. Woo! White boy summer. The extensive attention to trying to look casual and normal and cordial in your speech isn't a good long-term strategy, John, because people just wise up to it and look past that and actually look at your rhetoric and recognize that you're a white nationalist. That's why you get called out. Because you're dog whistling, everyone gets that. Because your faux politeness, people see through it. Nice is different than good. You can act as nice as you want. You can put on as many suits as you want. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we still have Richard Spencer yelling racial slurs and hidden, audio recordings. We still have Nick Fuentes being a Holocaust denier. We still have all the shit that goes down on your Discord. Okay? People are stupid. Not that stupid. My student says he's admitting people want nationalists.
That's why they send it. They cherry pick quotes. They deplatform. They refuse to engage directly because they are liars. They are liars. Kind of the basic principle. It's important to remember. You know what else is something important to remember? Product mode can sneak up on you at any time. You know what else can sneak up on you at any time? The threat of danger. This is because, folks, it's getting more and more of you are choosing to exercise your second amendment.
Oh, look, the right wing tax go, fear porn, fear porn, fear porn, fear porn. They're coming for your identity. You're being demonized. Time for an ad break. Let me sell you gold from the apocalypse or guns to kill minorities when there's a race war.
Right, to keep a bear on with an American-made, leading people forces on the pitch.
You can do a bacon joke in 2021.
Tactical guns out with a proprietary town market. They even have their own bacon joke. They're flying off the shelf.
I don't know what's the real thing, man.
Look at the phrase, and hence why. This is actually what that was in reference to, yet.
And I love someone who still does the bacon in 2021.
But it's so true. Anytime conservatives end up white people do anything, political or not, it's always going to make nonsense. And it's because as we talk.
The other day, I saw a white guy at Starbucks drinking coffee, and I said, "You fucking Nazi! The Nazis drank coffee!" My hair was dyed blue at the time as well, because you've seen memes.
Talk about everything. This country historically has been predominantly white. So the group of people who have the largest percentage in preserving the country and communists are white people.
Who?
What? Now, that doesn't mean non-white people can love America and live here.
This is, again, this white nationalist rhetoric where he's like, historically, America has had mostly white people, so the non-white people that live here have no vested interest in protecting it. What? They live here. What are you talking about, John? Are you fucking stupid?
No, certain people, lots of them do, lots of them do in this audience. But that's not what that means at all. It's just a
You thought Nazis did math? They probably also masturbated. John's a neo-Nazi, okay? He rules.
say that there is a reason that 85% of the votes for the Republican Party are from white people. So if you can,
Yeah, America is majority white, but typically Democrats get more votes from non-white people. of the Republican Party demonizes non-white people all the time. Internet policies that put minorities.
Turn the society against white people, then we'll be able to stop the largest impediment to the total transformation of the country with something unrecognizable to even someone who's learning from itself. It's the same way that if you wanted to completely restructure China, you try to turn the country against the Chinese.
God. You want to take over Germany, you turn everyone against Germans. That's actually not what happened, John. No. Typically, if you want to take over a country effectively, you demonize a minority group, like, for instance, Jewish people in Germany in the 1930s, and say, all of our financial problems are their fault. They're a secret cabal of bankers who are trying to undermine the Rhineland success. We better get rid of them and destroy their businesses and give their homes to real Germans. And then you take power using fear tactics like covering minority groups. Gee, which political party does that sound more like? Cynthia says, just because you don't know that China has ethnic groups doesn't mean they don't have ethnic groups, John, if you just asked it. Yeah, he did just say all Chinese people, this Chinese people, internal distinctions that people in China.
I didn't know that. If you wanted to completely restructure Russia, then you try to turn the country against the Russians. Now, granted, the other Christians are off of those countries, but the principle basically remains the same. And our enemies know that this is true.
Rocky Mutton says Nazis were inspired by U.S. eugenics and segregation. That's not my business.
Which is why anytime you do anything, whether it's conservatives or whether it's me, or some of you called Nazis, because it's effective and it shuts it down. Like you said, everybody knows from the time you're born that being a Nazi or being racist is the worst thing you could do. Being a
Yeah, they're not good. They're like, there's like, I actually put Nazis above murder because Nazis want to genocide traditional people. Let's say Nazis, murderers, R-worders, and other sexual assaulters, racists, narcissists, list goes on. But yeah, Nazis are pretty high up there, because of the genocide.
communist is fine, being a racist against
John, literally nowhere in any American rhetoric, anywhere, are you told communism is fine. Have you existed in the same cultural zeitgeist I have? Like John, I think jokes about John being on TV is like, we're not that different. I'm only 6 years older than John. I'm as older than John as Jake is older than me. If that helps. So it's weird watching John knowing that like this is how old Jake perceives me to be. John, at no point in our lifetimes has communism ever been touted as a good thing by mainstream media, by educational systems. It's just not. Maybe in college you get some professors who want to talk about how capitalism has flaws. And guess what, John? It does. You criticize capitalism too. I've seen you do it. And Marx gets referenced sometimes, specifically Marx is one of the most influential economic thinkers of the 20th century, whether you agree with him or not. But the vast majority of people are not Marxists or communists, they're not sympathetic to those ideas. What world are you living in?
It's like to do it. This is promoted in the courage. Regardless, it shuts us down because they are terrified of those labels. Even though we know they're lies, even though the majority of people in the country probably know they're lies, it doesn't matter because the fear of being deviated from the group consensus is just that powerful. And so our only chance of winning is to have the church that's going to have against those lies until we're in a position where we can point it out as accountable, which is done by having courage and saying there's no others to follow, and then even more.
Sentation says, oh no, you're doing the meeting. Okay, you're making fun of it. He said, actually, thank God, I really didn't want to argue with the chat about the Holocaust right now. You got me for a second, though.
Time you get to a point where you can expand the library definition out to include terms like that so that the propaganda is less effective, but they won't be able to just throw around words like, oh, that's, point.
Cynthia says, we should take down there and tear areas about the ethnic conflict in Russia, John. like, even in the modern day, like, does John think people watch, like, what's it called? The Death of Stalin? It was a very funny movie that I would highly recommend. Does he think, like, the Death of Stalin, or if we're looking at something more serious, like Chernobyl? Does he think people look at those and go, wow, communism is awesome? Really love stuff says, I mean, I got called a communist earlier today because I said the U.S. had the Soviet constitution was 15 Nazis, apparently that was glorifying the Soviet Union. That's what it is. You can both recognize that the Soviet Union was very important in defeating Germany in World War II, and also recognize that Stalin is a genocidal sack of shit. Both things are true.
Nationalists without being at risk of a reason of actual losses. That's really the most offensive part about it. It's just lazy. It's called classic. If you're gonna lie, at least make it a good one. If you betray yourself by appealing to the establishment and like, oh, this guy's a Nazi. We all know that Nazis are bad.
You think Nazis aren't bad, John? I think your math is a little.
You've exercised virtually no will. I'm a guy. I appreciate your insight and idea. I appreciate you grow this far. But when you just say, oh, Nazi because Nazis really don't like communism and are socially conservative, or even
no, Nazism is when you're an ethno-nationalist, especially one that is Semitic. He's an ethno-nationalist. Hating Jewish people. Demonizing communism doesn't hurt, and I'm not saying you have to be pro-communism, but it's a piece of rhetoric that falls into the Nazi thing very often. Interestingly, especially with neo-Nazis, considering that communism is not at all a presence in U.S. politics. So it's like they're just ripping from the original Nazi playbook without any thought as to the context that they are existing in. Very weird. But yes, the demonization of progressive people and minorities, doing ethno-nationalism, yeah, Ice Cream says, can you at least agree and said something that the Soviet Union will over your face 20 years before we did, give or take? I mean, the Soviet Union, Russia in general had a completely more egalitarian view of governmental roles, who were listed in combat roles, and the so, it's just,
Then one is because one guy with glasses and dark hair is just lazy. We've heard it.
John regularly make fun of how other people look and say things like pissing off with Jack. You have no right to complain about people saying jokes about how you look. Now, I avoid it. I really try not to do that because I think making fun about people looking at political discussion of any sort is stupid and makes you look like a jackass. But like, you do that, you're hypocrite.
You're just betraying the fact that you don't have knowledge or insight.
So when you say physiognomy check, you're saying you don't have knowledge or insight. I don't know if
And sending their pictures, so we're off topic. But I think as I got older, I'm still young. But
I went back to I swear I went to political sites. I agree. Okay.
we really just developed this one for people who are they're literally out there. And it just gets back to the fact that your intuition is your friend. They're just angry. They're not really real. They're in the Bible. Like when you're a kid, all the things you think are cool are actually really cool. Soldiers, tanks, race cars, planes, building things, being a pirate. Then you're older and you're like, yeah, I was right. Those things are actually really cool. They go both ways. What are the things you dislike the most? I don't know. These are kids who would sell you out to the established power structures for literally no reason other than getting on and watching you suffer. Not kids who would tell the teacher if you like knocked over their block towel or something. You deserve that. The kids who would snitch on you for doing something that had absolutely no effect on them whatsoever. So
John Mathis got reported on Twitter and he got banned. Is this what this is about?
because they got off on it because they're little sociopaths.
Or is he mad about The people at the January 6th thing at the Capitol are getting told on from the FBI by their families and stuff. Uh-oh, is John afraid he's next? I assume he was there to my knowledge, but it's really surprising.
These are the kids who grow up to become journalists, and they're not cool, they're lame.
I haven't been 16 now. I haven't been 6 now, and I don't think we'll find that interesting anymore. He just says the same shit. I don't know. I'll get back into it eventually. Cat Girl says, one of the things he actually makes people on the left handed pirates. Oh my god, John, you have no idea. Chrissy says, before you use the authorities, you do the opposite of sociopathy. I think it honestly really depends. You know, if you're reporting someone for like, oh, they're in possession of small amounts of marijuana or something that doesn't hurt anyone, I agree that's stupid. But yeah, if someone actually commits like an assault or a robbery or something and they hurt people, yeah, then you should report things to police. Baja says he's probably mad because you have to have to stop it. That's probably true. Oh yeah, Nick did finally stand up to their business.
And we're further off topic, but it's okay. We hit on the inevitable connection between what was done with the Nazis. Actually, there's one more point on that, which is that the memes that the journalists were complaining about have like pictures of Nazis and said white boy summer, and the journalists are like, see, I told you so. And they're so,
Yeah. What naturalists today that exist on the online space give themselves about 30 levels of irony to try to hide the fact. You guys remember a while ago on Reddit, this was like a year or two ago, they literally had a Nazi subreddit where they talked to each other in baby talk to try and hide their intention. Neo-Nazis always try to hide the fact that they're neo-Nazis in the absolutely most embarrassing ways, and I guess they're on deep fried memes or Hitler.
well, that actually was lying. Because it's like, the reason that white boy summer memes end up having Nazi imagery is because, as we've discussed, anytime white people do anything, it's too white, it's racist. It's not diversity. It's not that.
See, unironically, what they're trying to say, they put Hitler in ironically. I'm sure the people I showed you a picture of earlier, who put that sign up that was like, why do Jews get to suck baby dick or whatever? I'm sure they were doing it ironically too.
Etc. And the conclusion of this,
The reference on the side, by the way, is for religious ritual connected to. And one thing Hasidic Judaism involved with bris, I forget the specific name, but like some sects of Hasidic Jews during the bris, the rabbi, after doing the circumcision, will suck the blood off the baby's penis with his mouth. I also think it's weird, but making it an anti-Semitic thing is very strange. It's just a really old, out-of-date, crazy ritual.
implication is always the same. Nazi. And so people are just doubling down on it. Yeah, okay, call us Nazis because this is basic for our meaning. Why?
If you call us a Nazi, so I'm going to embrace Nazi imagery. Ironically, I'm definitely not a Nazi though.
Because Nazis want to get by versus like it's ridiculous. You have hot girl summer.
Princess Media says the worst bit for me is how randomly John's videos are. John was pre-recorded. You can script and make videos in the awful. I never had to choose these scripted videos. This is how we talk and have talking. You don't have to do a scripted video. So, you know, the bullet points that video really.
Not only objectify young women, but that's a call to action. It's not just a meme, it's a call to action. It says, just provocatively, sleep around, let hope it.
Yes. And ironically saying that white girls summer or whatever the fuck that song is called is telling me to go be promiscuous and therefore it's worse than Nazis. There are so many levels of wrong with that statement. I don't even know where to start addressing them.
Drink, do drugs, do whatever you want as long as it enslaves you. That's perfectly fine and celebrated and promoted in the media. But God forbid a couple memes get posted of Nazis wearing pit bikes. These
are ironically being like, we often post a real Nazi movie, guys. It was ironic, okay? Just because the mods on my Discord are called Stormtroopers doesn't mean we're Nazis. That And not when I was on his Discord, when I was on his Discord, were called stormtroopers. That was their role name. I'm not kidding. And just because we post memes of Nazis with white nationalist symbols doesn't mean we're Nazis. Just because I'm friends with Nick Fuentes, who's a literal neo-Nazi with Knight of Holocaust, doesn't mean we're Nazis. John, I'm gonna say this once, because this is, I think we don't say this. John, at least the Nazis in the 1930s had the balls to come out and be like, we're fucking Nazis. You're a bigger bitch than a fucking Nazi, an OG Nazi, who got their ass handed to them. Okay? At least, like, fucking Goebbels and Hitler were like, we are Nazis, we are Nazis, we do not like the news. You're just here being a fucking crypto fascist like a bitch. Like a fucking bitch! It's embarrassing. Frankly, it's fucking embarrassing. And I'm me. So think about that for a second. Then me, thinks you're fucking embarrassing. That's so bad. How do you even recover from that? Money says, yes, if you want to, do whatever you want, as long as it isn't hurting people. This is a whole safe area. Can you find there?
All of a sudden, the journalists are melting down. I'll be honest with you, and I know that I'm wrong on this. I'm more offended by a cultural trend that tells young women how sisters and daughters will be dating themselves through immersing people in power.
My sisters and daughters, that's what they're defined. Not as their own individual people. They do exist as they exist through.
Then I am by a photo of off the data. In fact,
Yeah, we know, John. I know you're not offended by that actually might not be true. There's some neo-Nazis, and especially nowadays, like alt-right Catholics, who don't like Hitler because he fucking lies. Because he's a loser, he's a drug addict, and they keep him as, not strong enough to actually win the war. So maybe God does hate Hitler. He certainly likes the things Hitler liked. Other than the antacids, I don't think John likes that.
I think it's pretty funny. And I'll actually really good by explaining why it's funny. It's because you got pit bikers, which are, really obnoxious sunglasses, which are physically white sunglasses because they're popular with skiers and snowboarders. Those also happen to be overwhelmingly white. So we what? And they say, we like the snow. And so you take that, and then you're like, what else do they say about activity? Oh, really Nazi. Boom!
Yeah, John, I don't know what brings this to you, but non-white nationalists think this is a fun deal. They just roll their eyes and go, oh, and the alt-righters, great. This is only funny if you're someone like John Doyle, or you're like 16 and have one evil person.
Hitler wearing pit bikers. It's objectively a good thing. You're juxtaposing a silly looking pair of sunglasses with a university.
Why is Hitler hot? Is that part of the joke, John? I mean, it's obviously part of the joke, but why is it part of the joke?
Thinking against historical figure. It's funny.
Why didn't you use Stalin then? Wouldn't that work even better since you think Stalin is a worse person than Hitler? You know what I mean? Do you see what I'm saying here? If you think Stalin was worse than Hitler, and people who agree with you think the same thing, and you're making a joke about juxtaposition, then surely you should use the worst person, right? So Stalin, but you didn't use Stalin, you used Hitler. And all the other memes also use like white nationalist ideology. Unitary errors. Malcolm Button says, here in Portland, Proud Boys and citizens have been fighting in the streets and the cops are backing off.
Let's say, oh,
Does this just mean the thing the shit out of fascists every 100 years now? That sucks.
There's something that's really bad, so you're not taking it seriously. I should take it more seriously.
Talking alone says it's thought you know conservatives love this community. Wozniak says those deserts turned out to be Florida man, the least tragically ever. Yep. Those deserts, big account on Telegram, biggest QAnon account, posts anti-Semitic years and years constantly, and literal OG Nazi propaganda images. Turns out he's a Florida man. Surprise. Yeah, finally found it on Telegram. I downloaded Telegram a while back. And it was so terrible to I'm just trying to keep tabs on these people. Yeah. Yeah. Don't see him. Basically, a bit to the air was like, he's a Nazi, Joe Biden, like, he's a Nazi too, right? If I can handle this. Florida, you know, that place.
Where there largely comes down to contrast, and me laughing at Hitler and Hitler means that I recognize a stark contrast, which actually means that I take
Right, but John, the contrast would be between the silliness of these shades and the seriousness of Hitler's battle. We don't also work for white nationalists, and we by white nationalists. We know this. We know this. We're not dumb. Robert Morley was one of the Justice Sullivan friends in 2024. I've been following the Justice Sullivan friends with video references so often, and it's kind of hilarious. It's so bad.
take more serious.
I've traded 20% along one.
So then you do it. So I'm a better person than you if you don't think it's fun. So
You got me, John. I don't find your Hitler meme funny, therefore I'm the real Nazi. That's the secret.
Hot Girl Summer says, anything to me.
Moran says, okay, off topic, but I don't think you follow the Lex series, Hello the Boss. It's an independent television series. I mean, people in these episodes are absolutely bomb. Do I want to board into the comedies? And this essay comes for 8 months of subscription. Oh my god. Why? I assume that's bait. Things like that. I'm a boneless person myself anyway. I know they're adult chicken nuggets, but I don't care. They're more chicken cutlets. We need to. Robert Morley, thank you for giving 10. Tier 1 sub to the community. I appreciate that so much. Solar says, yeah, for what nationalists? I think this is normal, screaming.
Make you depressed and corrode your soul, and that's fine. That Girl Summer says, nothing. There's no.
What does not exist? What does not exist?
XP says, so maybe you can mess with Peter through the Message 12 telegram. I mean, I don't have access to posts on it. I don't think it. Christian thinks we're differently fine people and stuff. I've honestly been thinking about, we don't know how to get years of attention, but I really want to start the state Very heavy account is a big name, and I kind of wanted to start doing stuff on it, but I keep thinking we have to do with them further doing on claims and stuff, so I do it. But I really want to create a fake account that I already have and use it to do a feeder in and get him to start repeating some of the bullshit I'm saying to show him you believe everything anyone says as long as it agrees with you. I am that account. Having my use, next thing says, and that's like ask questions and get them to your answer. Everything you comment on the chat. You know, over the chat page. Each one says, have to get out the data, you know.
A checklist. So I made one. Anything that will breed mental illness in society is promoted. Anything else society will promote is demonized.
Get with dip for life natural illness. Next thing says, the source says we might run into issues getting the belief you to watching the stream. Well, I didn't tell you guys I'm assuming. I know you were doing belief.
As far as the actual definitions go, unless you want a militantly enforced white ethno state, you're not a white nationalist. Unless you want white people,
Yeah, that's you. That's you.
the rule.
I think it's actually a little subtle in that initially. I think John wants to do that because of the long economy and sort of taking over institutions of political power. You don't have to want to take over a country militarily in order to be white nationalist. You just have to want to take it over in order to benefit one specific race group.
Over every other race of people on Earth, you're not a white supremacist. Those are the definitions of those terms. And the only reason the definitions are stretched is to appeal to the negative attitudes surrounding the terms without maintaining the necessary integrity for practice correction. Because if they were honest, then they couldn't use those terms, which are very effective historical records. So don't find anything to recall you that. And don't let anyone you know who's reading or volunteer out. So there's that, yeah. You can and will be achieving that. That's why so many people are producing knowledge that they like. Great example of this recently. What? This Rico? I think his name is.
I don't know a single white person that refuses to admit that they're white.
I think this is the thing that is being interpreted as negative. It shouldn't be. Where's the whole topic that you like about me?
Well, sure, actually, the racial goes all. That's actually true. That's why. What's she up to? That must have ruined her life, right?
All the influence that we're going to do is there's a lot of documents that are going on in other schools that say things like signage from the off time to say white supremacy down or white down, white dollars down, things like
Dr. Bolton says hype train needs to push in your good day. You can find out the goods. Colson says you go speak this only. Micro says that somehow in both communities we have to be able to use some student rules so they target the student. I don't know how under 33% of multiple pictures.
like rationality, things like things like objectivity, and these are very strange things to describe the racial. I view it.
How about we stop the
Tá pintado.
Onde é que vais com ele?
racial identity?
Não, mas vou falar tudo cheio para chover.
Ok, tá bem, tá bem.
Sim, já aqui. Fica só do ano.
Ideas about that because of
Estás aí?
discriminatory practices that were put in place by people in the past. So currently, we're also recognizing that people are individuals that have to fall within groups. You do both of those things. You can say, I am not putting any sort of stereotypes on people because of the racial group they happen to be in.
Vai estar aí.
Recognizing that because they are in that racial group,
Fazer só foto
they're
deste bocado.
technically in
Ai, que
society.
xerido, não sei como é que tu consegues ter aqui.
Não, eu tenho que pensar nisso.
Ah, vou tu dizer estas coisas e está o stream.
Tá. É com o pé dos gatos.
O xerido é dos gatos, não somos nós que nos cagamos.
Sempre. Só de vez em quando.
Mas nós não nos cagamos aqui.
Pois, aqui não.
Like it's time for pizza, hope it won't irritate the hole where my teeth used to be.
Estes gajos gostam mesmo perdidamente um do outro, não é?
Esses
O carinho com que o... Não, mas é... O Ozzy agora até estava calmo. Parou e o carinho com que o cão vai dar focinhadas é delicioso. E ontem estava a ver o
E põe
Jung.
patinho e tal.
Ontem estava a ver o Jung a lavar-se. Desculpa, eu nunca vi um cão fazer aquilo.
Pois é.
Ele lava-se todo neste momento, não é só as partes. Ele lava todo o pelo, com a língua, como um gato. Ele veio para cá e aprendeu a ser gato.
Isso ele vai muito pegar.
Olha lá, estão os dois ali num marmelance, uma coisa incrível.
Nos julgos.
Acho bem fofinho.
Estou a brincar. Eles não são irmãos biológicos, eles podem.
Eles podem, claro.
And also recognizing that nonetheless, in society, people who get treated differently and are served sort of different ways applied said society due to consequences of past attitudes about different racial groups and also current attitudes espoused by certain people in society. These are compatible views.
Whiteness and black.
Lagrade says you tried to disguise good medical advice as UPS. I think that's, again, that's an ethical issue.
Olha, os vidas já mandaram a ecografia aqui dentro.
I also would want to pull in other unsuspecting people.
Quando é que tens, não sabes quando é que tens respostas sobre ou não?
Fantástico, realmente. Agora estou a ver o relatório. Glândula tiroide em topografia habitual, simétrica, com forma e dimensões conservadas, contornos regulares, ecoestrutura globalmente homogénea, norma refletor imóvel, com os movimentos de deglutição, estão mantidas as habituais relações com as estruturas vasculares. Está tudo ótimo, está mesmo boa. Está boa, 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 boa.
Mas está melhor que muito.
Olha lá, está aí ela.
Being white isn't actually terrible by dodging and discriminating them. Actually, we're all individuals. It's a good point.
Se calhar está melhor do que a tua, tá?
Society receives people as demographics and unfortunately different people in different demographics
Está mesmo boa.
because of the way
Então, com umas batatinhas à burro.
Black people, Hispanic people, Asian people, they all view their racial identity as incredibly important, and they're going to view you as a white person even if you don't view yourself that way.
because society has served them differently because of their racial identities.
Which is more consequential since, again, as we discussed, literally being white is going to become increasingly political in the near future. And that's why
I think John was really scared by that recent report of the census. Based on the census is going to show that the absolute white population, not as a percentage, but the absolute white population might be going down for the first time since like the 80s, I don't remember. They're freaking out about it. White nationalists, I mean. I don't care what the racial demographics is.
the elections able to lie on the public perception.
I mean, I thought it was a free market of ideas, John. If we keep winning, does that not mean that our ideas are better? But when
Good.
no,
Good.
it's because of a free market of ideas. So when we win,
Mas em mão, não recebeste em mão. Peraí, deixa eu ver outra vez. Eu mandei o link para descarregar. Deixa eu ver. Já tentar nesta perto do computador. Pois não está aqui. Ah, fodido alguma coisa, sim. Estão aí as fotos todas com as molduras. Eu vou usar isso para me organizar, porque é apanhar já onde é que eles ficam, fazer umas marchas. Vou levar também um cartão já para fazer de modos, para ser muito rápido de montar. Estou a apanhar tudo para chegar assim mais rápido. E para me orientar para ser a folha de sal. Olha, por falar nisso, eu estava a pensar, não sei se isso para o casamento ou não, mas já não vou usar assim. Mas tu lembras-te que eu fiz um par de plintos na exposição com restos madeiras das obras? Depois com esse cara com. Sabes dele? Ah, do outro lado do onde? Mas é nas Caldas. Não, eu fiz dois. A Constância e o. Como é que é o puto? Margarida, isso. O Margarida e a Constância ficaram com um. Sobrou outro, estava lá no pouco. Mas não estava agora, deve ter ido para a garagem, não? Sim, madeira alto que era que eu fiz. Eu procurei, eu e o Timóteo tivemos de ver, não vimos. Ao pé da casa de banho, só soube mal. Ok, então nem foi para a garagem da mulher. Achas não? Sim, não é urgente. Estava só a pensar que podia ser talvez com uma mesa de apoio lá, umas coisas para fazer. Mas eu ainda vou ao povo. Ao povo. Respeita se tu vês. Se estiver lá, pronto. Como houve aquelas mudanças todas, não sei se não estou a pensar tudo. Ok. Eu procurei e não achei, mas pode ser que esteja arrumado de uma forma que eu vi. Sim, depois eu tive foi com o Timóteo. O Timóteo também não tinha modo do ver. Sim, não, portanto, é só andando bem. Estou aqui a arrumar umas coisas. Para levar, em princípio, para uma mesa de apoio ou para o casamento, como eu tinha medieval, era uma boa mesa de apoio. Não, era levar tipo lá para o casamento, usar a mesa de apoio e depois volta. Porque tem um ar assim bem artesanal. Sim, não, é só isso. Eu não vi no pouco, por isso perguntei que sabias onde é que eu estava. Se estiver no pouco, deixa eu estar lá, sim, claro que depois levo. Depois passo no pouco, levo e trago. Está bem. Eu ainda hoje vou ver se escrevo um texto da função, vou ver se escolho mais ou menos a posição dos trabalhos. Não tem que ser final, estás a ver? Mas assim começo já a apanhar a função e tudo mais, e a disposição de hoje na parede para ser mais rápido de fazer.
The racist jokes never stop being funny. The only ones that are proved now, though, are about white people and white countries, and Italians in particular, because that's actually really funny. I really want to show you that.
Sim, não, eu vou. É isso. Eu hoje é sexta. Não, eu acho que está bom sim, para dizer eu. Não, aquela pessoa. Sério. Não, mas não há problema nenhum, porque é assim. O que a malta. Quem está para abrir o vídeo, vê o vídeo. A maior parte da malta é que só pode abrir o coisa. Não. Sim. Não, estava só a falar mesmo por causa do outro. A conversa toda por causa do outro dizem que não tinha aqueles movimentos todos.
You should be kicked. And you can only be readmitted if you say the next to be like
Sim.
That's the goal. But seriously, like if you want to live in a post-racial society, you have to acknowledge differences. Because if you just ignore and sort of like, that's literally the joke I would imagine seeing on Reddit, if I'm being honest. Reddit has some shit like that. So it's the acknowledgement of the differences. You're just going to pit everybody against white people. It's going to be a good time.
Não, tenho tudo. Provavelmente até tenho mais horizontal, sim. Sim, claro. Certo.
That's what they always say. The elite want to pit everyone against each other. That's not true. They're not like pitting black people against Asian people. They're just pitting everybody against white people. Like even when black people beat up Asian people, what do? They call it white supremacy.
Ele mandou-me isso há tempos. Não é só. Sim, eu.
The solution is just for everybody to go back to being able to find each other without food.
Telmacomia.com. Tudo junto. Está tudo. Quer dizer, não estão alguns destes mais recentes. Está desde 2001. estão aí 20 anos. Não é assim, perde um bocadinho. Não, porque a lógica é. Depois da há coisas que só vão provar depois de exposição, como é o caso. E tu só tens por exemplo, é como tu vês uma pintura do Picasso, seja o que for, no livro de história. Não é a mesma experiência que tens ao vivo. E aí, se tu fores a ver, há um registro histórico, é como teres um livro de que eu estava a fazer em 2001 que estou a fazer agora. Ou seja, o meu site tem quadros de 20 anos, tem 20 anos de uma evolução da pintura. Mostra a coerência, mas mostra a evolução. Mostra os interesses.com. Sim, tem uma coisa junto. E é giro ver como, por exemplo, como há coisas estranhas lá no meio, como as coisas estão ligadas. Até tenho umas fotos lá da exposição, tenho lá fotos das exposições do povo e até daquela de 289. Não, eu sei que eu usei uma coisa do Blogspot, só que havia umas cenas, houve uma altura que eu fiz uma coisa que era a vista dinâmica e eu utilizei isso, porque mostra só uma imagem e tal. Depois adaptei as imagens a isso. Desengrenagens, sim. Como assim? Tenho ideia de umas do steampunk e de engrenagens que existem mesmo, mas depois comecei a inventar. Ou seja, as engrenagens básicas são todas parecidas. Há uma lógica, né, das peças estarem todas unidas e terem um ritmo para mexer nesse certo ritmo, né? Mas com base nisso inventar, com base no funcionamento delas, na prática. Brinquei com isso. Por isso é que fiz umas que têm tipo 3 pontas e tal. Teoricamente podem funcionar mesmo, mas ninguém faz essas. Eu vou pondo os desenhos, portanto, estás a ver primeiro os mais recentes e se vais descendo para baixo. Sim, no móvel é no telemóvel é no site é que tu vês as imagens todas em pequeno. Certo. Que é um tanto. Porque foi dos últimos que eu pus. Eu não pus tudo lá. E se tu for, mas por exemplo, se tu fores no computador, vês melhor. Até no computador, podes ir descendo e vais vendo as imagens lado a lado, desde 2020 até 2020. Aí eu tenho um quadro ao lado que fiz na faculdade de 2020. Portanto, dá para ver. Sim. Sim, opa, eu tive outro Blogspot na altura. Tinha esse como site e tinha um Blogspot para coisas. Mas depois também o outro deixei de um bocado de usar. Deixei de utilizar porque comecei a utilizar o Facebook. No entanto, o Facebook, quando foi vendido em bolsa, começou a querer que tu pagues para divulgar. Portanto, nem sequer o Facebook foi atualizado mesmo. Neste momento, a única coisa que está, mais ou menos, que eu acho que está interessante divulgar, a única coisa é esse site. Comprei o domínio só, porque aquilo é telmocopia.blogspot.com. Eu comprei só o domínio.
It feels like to me he's admitting that in his friend group in high school, none of his friends ever had girlfriends.
Não sei, opa, é assim, eu acho que não, esse inspirado no critério, já vou ver qual é. Não, esse é o único que está na António Prates. Mas se tu fores ao e-mail, claro que também é para descarregar. Não, o que eu estou a dizer, lá estão todos os desenhos elaborados. Tenho aqui umas telas que eu estou a pensar se. Sim, era só para o caso de quereres ter acesso a umas imagens para. Sim, não precisas ver todos, podes até fechar os olhos e vir só 2 ou 3. Que eu, no fundo, a gente comprou o quê? 16 16 molduras, pá, aí médias grandes e 4 pequenas, 20 desenhos aí. Tenho mais uma coisa que fiz, tinha uma moldura que enchi só com os plásticos das outras molduras todas. Portanto, é uma moldura que tem lá um desenho por dentro. Quase brincadeira, mas vai ser que eu ainda não sei se vou usar ou não. Tudo depende da disposição, se eu achar que fica bem na disposição. Tenho uma coisa que é muito conceptual, porque é só basicamente os plásticos das molduras. Pronto, também agora deixa eu ver o que é que podemos diz. Usamos por aí, tá? Sim, não, estou despachado. Já estou a embrulhar as coisas. Não, sim, não, eu acho que podemos divulgar essa, porque a maior parte das pessoas vai ver o evento, vai ver o cartaz. Quem estiver disposto a ver o vídeo, vê o vídeo todo. E dá para usar as histórias e tal. Sim.
What the fuck? John makes so much sense. I don't know if you guys have seen the Behind the Bastards podcast, but they have an excellent episode on young Hitler. And if you read accounts of young Hitler and like stuff like that from his contemporaries who went to school with him, he was basically what we would call today an I-word. I'm not allowed to say it on Twitch. Argentinian, you know. And he had this same attitude towards women, where he like obsessed about them, and like when they were with any other guy, he would consider them a whore, and he'd just get angry at women because he had this anxiety around them. I think a lot of fashion dudes are like that. They just get frustrated with their own personal inadequacy and turn that around and project it into anger at other people and say like, it's not that women don't want to be around me. I just think women are all whores. Shit like that. It's really, really healthy. Basically, he says things. He's a freak. He's a freak. He's a weirdo. What the hell is he doing here? I don't know, 16 or something.
You're as creepy, papa.
The wizard of the handball, you idiot, you're going to destroy us! And so, sure enough, the subversive nature of the woman man plays up on like black ink. And his brother against brother. And something just over any such crazy. The haters and rudes that it
was a brother against brother. He had a girlfriend, and you were addicted and called her a whore. Because you apparently perceived, and this is so funny. This is one of those situations where I really wish we had like a screen and listen to the past objectively. Because John is saying that he felt that this guy's girlfriend was flirting with everyone else in the group, when in reality she was probably just being a normal person and joking with them and fun because, you know, being friends with our friends and people, whatever gender. And he was like, she's enjoying the company of men platonically. That's poor! And he ruined his friendship over it. It's so funny. Pretty serious as quote, the subversive nature of the woman. And then this guy comes calling because, sorry, guy comes calling because I was surprised John had friends.
You know, like, oh, not like he's sexist because he's traumatized by that. But first of all, no, pay attention to the story to realize sexist before that.
True.
Second of all, stop projecting your trauma onto everyone. You notice this week.
Recognizing that John is a complete piece of shit is us projecting my trauma.
Like every time they communicate online, every time one of these people sees something I like or reply like, oh, who hurt you? What happened to you that made you like this? And it's because they don't even sexualize it.
No, John, it's pretty clear that you were like that already. It's probably because of your parents, unfortunately.
The world is no good trauma because these people that are trauma, it's that trauma that is leading to spiritually dead.
But John hasn't been traumatized at all. That's why he's such a well-adjusted young man.
The same way that they don't conceptualize fraternity and commodity as something dead. If you hang out in any of these circles long enough, you'll see, oh, well, Captain America and Bucky are definitely gay. What?
Did you just learn about slash fiction at some point recently?
Our Weasley and Harry Potter are gay because their brains are so fried by pornography and this.
Eu não consigo esse vídeo.
No one tells them about
Corrida é um bocado irritante, só se a pessoa é um bocado irritante.
God, you just said in like middle school or high school, you called your friend's girlfriend a whore because she was talking to other dudes platonically, and you think other people view every social interaction through a sexual lens because they ship some fictional characters sometimes? Oh my. Sorry, George Takei. Oh my.
There's a great C.S. Lewis quote. This speaks to it. It's something like,
Oh, so C.S. Lewis. Relevant. That's why I'm looking at this persona.
those who can't conceive friendship as a substance of love, but only as a disguise or elaboration of heroes to say the fact that they never have friends.
I agree. I agree, but John, you just told a story in which you did that.
Think so true. They don't understand nothing.
John, I don't think you understand why Slack fixes exist either, because for queer people, there are very few, especially historically, back to sort of the origins of modern Slack fixes, how those stuff was fought first. Especially back then, there were virtually no positive homo-romantic or homosexual stories, right? They just didn't exist in popular media. So people who are interested in that sort of thing turn to fanfiction in order to fill the markets, like markets, in order to fill the market's need or want for that material. And that version into a huge culture of fanfiction that exists to this day. It's not some like weird thing where they're just seeing gay relationships everywhere. It's because there is comparatively a lack of gay representation in romantic and sexual stories, and therefore they're trying to fill that void by creating fan fiction material with characters that are already beloved. Ice Cream says, I'm sorry, but I refuse to watch Pitch Perfect 3 because the queer being on ABC, Carol Danvers and Maria Randall love each other. I'm thinking better than that. Maybe we'll see some implications of that. Lonzo says, projecting your trauma onto everyone around you, John just described his brand of conservatism super well.
Male friendship because they probably never had male friends who act like men. They either tried to, but then ran away crying because they couldn't handle the verbal sparring at the lunch table. Someone told them they looked like pizza, or they just hung out with girls or other little bitches. Is there an opposite difference? Not really.
John's never suffered any trauma in relation to women, or being rejected by women, or feeling inadequate towards women, and that's why he's so healthy in his relationship with women. Clearly, there's no trauma, okay? There's nothing in his background that would imply that his ideation of the female gender is unhealthy, okay?
Fine. He's fine. He's fine now. He lives in Texas now. He wears print shirts. He has a custom sign behind him. Okay, he's got a gun on his wall. Every woman would love to be with this man. He has no baggage. The insecure men, they don't do well in these situations, and so they cry. And that's why the idea of white boys,
I'm legit 50-50 at this point that John is going to kill a sex worker at some point. But he's going to hire a sex worker because he's going to be performed for being that way to go. So he's going to be desperate. He's going to hire a sex worker. And then he's going to be so ashamed of himself afterward. He'll feel this weird, religious, political, nasty guilt about it. He can pull that gun off the wall and blow it down. That's my opinion. I think
summer is problematic. A bunch of implicitly or explicitly right-wing dudes coming together, simply declaring that this is our summer, we're embracing our identity, we're having fun, we're not apologizing, and we're offending everyone in our paths. They fear the last time together from getting themselves in a high way.
John, I hope you and your friends get together and have a great time. I really do. Unfortunately, your friends are also like nationalists or just fascists. That sounds great. Right? And most people don't have anything against people taking together and having fun with their friends, regardless of their gender or whatever. Who cares? Lady Necro says Texas, only two things come from Texas, skiers and 4 regulations. Lonzo says, flash fix, how it happened. Where did it go?
There's any form.
That's a lot of Psycho. No, if you want to see Psycho, watch Psycho.
Of white people acknowledging.
I mean, I guess Psycho was wrong here in the sense that he probably felt or thinking some level about his attraction for American reflection. Spoilers for Psycho, which is their 50-year movie. From the Justin Chamber, attraction towards American who, let's just say, mother killed her.
And I just have to say that's really funny because non-white people overwhelmingly, not all of them, but overwhelmingly view their racial identity as very important. And it's like
Because they have to, so it affects their life on a daily basis. It makes your life too, and mine too, John. We just don't recognize it as much. It doesn't affect our life on this rate. We don't recognize. When you're the kind of person who gets pulled over regularly by the cops for no good reason other than the fact that your skin color is different than theirs, your racial identity is.
but it's just for a meme. It's a white boy something. Seasonal. I can't help it.
God, our white nationalist memes are just ironic, I swear. God's not 2015. We weren't buying that shit anymore.
And we have to find this. We have to have fun because
Hey, God, this is like the version of playing Street Fighter at this time. You get it. You fucking get it. The dog whistle.
part of why you lose is you don't have camaraderie. No man is a fighter. If you want to win, you have to work together. You have to have fun doing it. If you ask anybody in the military, why in the military, you will talk about
Low-income household that wants opportunity for college or pension.
about that more in the next couple weeks. What I will tell you is that basically, most everything is quite democracy.
I know that most people go to the military for camaraderie. I think they really, because the military tends to recruit from low-income areas and desperate people who want a for sure paycheck. It's opportunity to invest in college.
That's part of it.
I imagine the military is not fun, and then boring during the deployment for most of the time, and then horrifying during combat, and then boring during the parts where you leave.
Really important. The people who hate us, the people who have fun. Lots of fun as a political strategy to get even more.
You know how it's not a political strategy, which is what we should be doing with this.
You know, we break up with something about more social media and it's not good and have we really like it out there because it's like that. It's at this time you get to make communists cry and you get to live in your head rent all four of them. I will now get into the official White Boy Summer checklist. You still got some time. You don't have to do a speed run, but I think we can take care of it. You really get too complicated. If you're a white boy from the suburbs, these are like programs in your soul. And for legal reasons, I'm not telling you to be.
Vou até à Póvoa. Vou até à Póvoa.
Mas até para
Sim, porque o Miguel vai para lá para a SA com o Caracel e perguntou-me se eu queria estar um bocadinho com o Careca para estar, porque ele sabe que eu estou chateada e triste e mal disposta. E como ele está a fazer obras, eu vou contar só daquela, estou a limpar as coisas.
esse é lá dentro.
E assim diz que eu posso dar uma... Eles vão montar coisas, estão a fazer as obras lá e é para eu dar ideias da decoração e da organização das coisas e não sei o quê. Mas eu não vou demorar, eu já disse, não vou demorar porque eu quero jantar com calma e depois tenho uma consulta às 10 e um quarto, não é?
Que é que é lá?
Não percebo isto, qual é a necessidade das pessoas estarem aos guichos?
É performático.
É o quê?
É performance, para...
Mas quem é que consegue estar a ver uma cena com uma performance deste género? É bem disruptivo, até faz dor de cabeça.
A malta que se ri de forma estranha, eu acho que criou um bocado o personagem e agora, passado, sei lá, não sei quantos, quase 10 anos de personagem.
Mas pronto, como tenho que comer cedo e tenho consumo disso.
Já pensaste que queres comer?
Hã?
Já pensaste que queres comer?
Não, não penso. Eu tenho de começar a comer mais fruta. É que isto é 2 em 2 minutos, não?
Não, não é.
Mas
Só
depois
quando
não.
é irritante.
Na verdade não é, porque não passaram 2 minutos e eu já outra vez.
Mas passou, desde que tu te mandaste vir há bocado, ri 3 vezes agora. Teve 2 minutos sem rir. Daquela forma.
Eu preciso de comprar fruta. E se
Agora?
calhar vou começar. Não, agora não. Mas se calhar vou.
Não sei se tu José Costas e comes.
Vou começar a substituir algumas refeições por fruta só.
Eu acho isso muito bom. Eu à noite, se tiver um bocadinho mais jantar, eu sempre passo umas maçãs ou isso.
Porque o facto de eu não comer fruta é mais um elemento.
Completamente. Nós
Risco.
comemos frutas.
Não posso comer maçãs. Se bem que isso também, como diz o meu pai, não é bem assim. Eu sempre me dei bem com maçãs, a maçã sempre me fez bem à saúde. E quando eu estava com mal do estômago ou do intestino, era maçã que normalmente me acalmava. Portanto, eu até me posso estar bem com maçã. Mas eu vou comer maçã.
Será que pode ter a ver com diferentes tipos de maçã?
Não sei, eu sempre comer maçã. Maçã cozida, maçã de todos os tipos. Vou comer maçã, vou comer banana, uvas. E não vou inventar muito. Vou andar por aí. E vou comprar também ananás em calda.
Isso está cheio de açúcar, não?
Não, mas não tem. Pelo menos há alguns que não têm, se calhar outros têm. Não sei. Se tiver, não como.
Se fizeres uma lista, eu posso comprar se fizer uma lista.
Sim. Tá bem.
Bananas, podes comer, não fazer mal a ninguém. Está bem, eu estou aqui a dar 5 pinceladas ao bocão.
It used to be fine too before that. It used to be like in the beginning of Under Pressure, like Queen and David Bowie. When that starts, it's either like a 50-50 chance whether you're about to hear that song or Ice Ice Baby. It's like if you hear Under Pressure, it's a good band. And then you hear Ice Ice Baby, it's not as good. You're actually like, come on, Ice Ice Baby. Now the whole okay, I'm gonna enter the third song. That starts just like Under Pressure or Ice Ice Baby, but the rest of the song is just trash. Thanks for coming in there. Pixel is falling because
Já, já. Sim. Vou sair agora com o cão. Já vou. Deixa eu ver. Eu vi atrás do meio. Não seja choque em cima. Não é choque. Deixa eu ver.